What's going on, guys? So today I'm here working on my Cutlass. I'm going to be replacing the transmission pan. Finally getting around to doing it. So I'll show you what I got here. So this is the pan that I got from Summit Racing. It's actually like a cast iron or cast aluminum, whatever it is, but it's pretty heavy duty. So because this pan is 2 quarts, gives you 2 additional quarts, you need to have an adapter, which they send you, and with the filter right here. But because you need an adapter for it, they send you bolts. They send you these bolts that are too small. Obviously, it's going to go in through here. So it's going to go like that, but obviously it's going to be, she's going to go the other way. It's going to be, you're going to only have like this many threads to actually get it into the transmission, which is not very many. So from what people have been hearing about on the forums or online, you go out and you buy an actual longer bolt. I think it's like 1.25 inches, and it actually gives you plenty of threads, so you can see the difference. What they send you, and this is what I got. So that actually you have more threads to be able to attach it to the transmission. So of course this is a little flimsy gasket they give you. That's just junk. But I went out and actually got me a actual like polyurethane, like with a steel core gasket here. So this is gonna be 10 times better. This one itself was like 35 bucks for this gasket, but it's definitely gonna be well worth it. So yeah, this one comes with a little drain plug here. But as I was telling one of my previous videos, that this actually has a flat surface. The other one that's on there right now doesn't have one. It has like little like raised edges all around. So I'll show you what that is when I get it off. So this is what my pan looks like now. As you can see, there's a little bit of leaking fluid. As you can tell, here it's leaking transmission fluid. You can see it right there. But this is the crappy one that I don't like, that I plan on getting rid of. So I'll show you the little, you can kind of see here, the little indentations of the pan. I'll show you to you when I get it off. Now all I'm doing is I'm loosening up the drain plug so I can drain the oil that's in there. So this is still draining, but so all around, I don't know if you can really tell it, but so there should be 13 bolts all around the pan here. This is a weird angle. I'm looking at it from underneath the car. You got my headers, dual exhaust, and this is what I was trying to talk about earlier. My G-force dual hump cross member bar, so it leaves room for the exhaust. You got these big ass C-net sheet channels here on both sides. It's still leaking here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start loosening up these bolts. All right, so I got most of the oil drained out here. You can see this thing over here. I don't know if you remember my first video that I have that little gear indicator on top of my steering column. So this is what it goes to. I can't really see from this angle, but up here, I'll show it to you when I get the pan off, but there's a little electronic indicator on there that attaches by a wire that goes up to my gauge itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking these bolts off here. Like I said, there should be 13 of them. should be one more up here. And so I think I got all these. Except for this one. Okay. Here, you want to hold this? Hold all the way here. Is it recording? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, hopefully I don't make a big mess. Watch out. Hope this drains right in here. See that? So, because of that pan, it's going to hold 2 extra quarts. Here's the filter. It's going to have a little spacer above this that meets up with the bottom of the transmission here, so that way it'll lower this down into the pan more. And yeah, those 2 bolts, they need to be a little bit longer for that little spacer. So yeah, it's looking pretty clean. I just got to go around and clean up these edges around here, get all the little sealant off there that I got. But I'll show you this pan real quick here. Alright, so I'm going to pull off all this gasket here, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with this pan, how it just looks like garbage. That's why it's not sealing properly. Okay, so I got a little bit of it here scraped off. I don't know if you guys can really see, but it's got this little raised edge on it right here in the center. It goes all the way around, and I think that's the reason why I kept leaking. Yeah, you see that? I think it was part of the problem. But the new one, as you can see the comparison here, way deeper, and it actually has a nice flat smooth surface here versus this cheap ass aluminum thing versus this cast one. So it being thicker, like I said, I'm gonna hold two more quarts of oil, and it seems way more like durable, way more heavy duty. This gasket's gonna go on here, just like so. I don't think I'm gonna need to use any gasket sealer on here, but I might just use a little bit just to help seal a little bit better. But with this being, you know, pretty thick gasket here, and it's made of like polyurethane, so I highly doubt it's gonna leak at all. But yeah, I'm gonna clean up the transmission, and yeah, I'll get back to you. Okay, so I got the 2 bolts loose here, and it's already leaking a little bit of fluid. Yeah, love this drain for a little bit here. I fully forgot this thing was gonna be full of liquid too. So that one doesn't look too bad. Don't see any shavings or anything in it, so it doesn't look too bad. Peel off the old gasket here. Alright, so that's what it looks like with the spacer on there. So this is what I was talking about earlier. This little black module here is for the gear indicator that I have on my steering column. It's connected to the actual shift linkage up there, so that way when it shifts, I have to pre-program it now to be programmed in the right gear. Here so far, I put a little bit of sealant on here and then got the drain plug all nice and plugged up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little bit of gasket maker on the edges, even though I'm sure I don't need to, but I'm going to do it a little bit anyways. Then I'm going to put the new gasket on there and bolt it up. They gave me obviously longer screws here with a little bit of Loctite on them. So these look like they're actually some nice bolts. But yeah, so I'm gonna put a little bit of layer on here. Now I'm not putting on a thick layer because the gasket itself is already pretty thick. It's polyurethane, so it's gonna have a nice tight seal. I'm just putting on a little light coat just to help, even if it does leak, which I don't think it will. Get it all nicely spread out. It's a nice little thin layer here. Okay, so gasket's gonna go on there like so. Now it's time to take the bolts and bolt it up. Okay, quick little wipe down. Okay. I'm gonna pull some of these bolts out here. Pull them out for me. All right, well, that's what it's gonna look like. I don't have my correct socket here to actually tighten them all down, but that's pretty much like the end result, what it's gonna look like. Summit Racing, a nice 2-inch more, or 2 more quarts to add it on here. All right, that's how you go. That's how it goes. 13 bolts, and then it's back up there. And I got to reattach my shift linkage thing over here. Other than that, that's pretty much about it. I gotta add the fluid back in. I'm good to go. Hope this helps.